Mario!
Hello you beautiful people and welcome back to GLITCHVAULT. Today we're taking a look at Super Mario 64 DS, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is take Yoshi up into the mirror room, go up to the mirror and have him face it diagonally. Once you get him in the right position, start sticking your tongue out. As you start sticking your tongue out, you can actually see the tongue of Yoshi's reflection coming out of the mirror. Here's a freeze frame so you can see it better. The creepiest part about this is that now we know that this is not a mirror in-game. This is just a window separating two mirrored rooms, and you are in fact controlling two Yoshis. Creepy. Over at Bob on Battlefield, as you drop into this cannon, shoot as low and to the left as you can. Something strange will happen. As Mario blasts off into the hill, your screen will just turn blue. And you find out why in just a couple of seconds. Mario shows up on the screen and you realize he's been in the sky this whole time and he is now plummeting to his doom. As you are up here, you are free to navigate the level, and it's actually pretty fun. As you land, you will take some damage, but really not as much as Mario deserves. This is really fun to do over and over and over again, and it's super easy to pull off. As Mario skydives, you have a surprising amount of control over his movement. He sort of floats generously in any direction that you push or pull him to, and if you're not too keen on taking all that damage, you can of course just ground pound out of it. Everybody behold the new king of the mountain! And if you really want to, this is one of the easiest ways to actually get out of bounds. I mean, if you're cool with floating for what seems to be just about under an eternity, then by all means. Mario just falls gracefully in his very own personal purgatory until, well, he dies. So that's cool. I mean, better than falling for an eternity. This really is a neat way to explore Bob on Battlefield on a whim, and it's super easy, so if you have the game, I implore you to give this one a shot. Next, we are going to the main room of the castle and standing on the doorframe to the room where you exchange characters and go to Peach's slide. As soon as you start standing there, go into first person and look all the way to the left and or right. You will see an extension of the red carpet going directly into a wall. And we know that's not what's actually past that door, so this is an anomaly indeed. Not really glitch, but still very eerie. If you want 99 lives, head on over to Womp's Fortress and punch this block. Make sure to turn into Giganto Mario and make your way over to the warp immediately. Just as soon as you warp, make your way to the middle wall. Now what you want to do to the wall is jump at it until you grab onto the ledge, which is oddly very difficult to do. If all done correctly, you should have just enough time to walk into this middle beam and keep walking to get 99 1-ups. Holy cow, we just won the lottery. Over here in Wet Dry World, there's actually a way we can run underwater, and it's not that difficult to pull off. You want to make sure the water level's right here, and you want to swim underneath this weird bridge spiral thingy. Get Mario directly under it and start jumping. You'll start noticing that he falls through the water a little bit each time, and then eventually he will fall all the way through, and he will start running on the ground. Once you're down here, you're free to run all over the place and do all sorts of things while remaining underwater. You can even run directly into enemies and they will not hurt you. The whole thing is very strange and things just don't behave as they should. As you can see, the enemies try to attack you, but they are stuck in their own personal underwater hell. You can run around and punch blocks and grab all the coins that trickle out of them. You can even gather all the blue coins without the fear of being hurt by an enemy. You're pretty much a child in a candy shop with free reign over the place. It is fun running around in this mode, doing whatever the heck you please, but if you want to stay running underwater, then you need to be careful. If you let Mario jump too high, then he'll get close enough to the surface of the water to start swimming again, which effectively resets this glitch altogether. So basically, if you're running around on the ground and you want to get out of the glitch, just do a quick triple jump, and that should get you out of hot water. Get it? Hot water? As Wario, get your health very low and then run into an amp. As you'll see, he descends about a third of the way into the ground and then disappears entirely when Bowser's face shows up. This only happens with Wario and is sad indeed. This is one that I found and isn't really a glitch, but is fun nonetheless. Basically, you want to long jump into this bullet bill dispenser, and as you get up, the bullet bill will bounce off of your indestructible face. My best guess as to why this happens is that the game is trying to complete Mario's animation and is making him indestructible for that small window of time. Whatever the reason, it's very plain to me that Mario uses fluoride. Go into the character exchange room and long jump into this corner over and over again. You'll notice that Mario glitches up after every jump, and eventually he'll hit the ceiling and fall right through the room. As Mario plummets through this existential darkness, he will pass by this very strange and warped polygon. If that doesn't give him nightmares, I don't know what will. But after he's done going plaid, doesn't really matter, he just dies anyway. This next glitch is very difficult and requires being Yoshi in the basement. Basically, you need to try eating this fire while fluttering into this one, at the exact same time. Not very easy, but I managed to get it done after many attempts. This is the camera angle you'll be working with, and if done correctly, Yoshi will stick his tongue out and it will stay there. Yoshi's not even mad about it, he's just walking around saying, "Hey guys, check it out." It's just weird because this thing normally happens when you lick a frozen pole, not fire. I'm guessing that this glitch happens because of animation interruption, not unlike the bullet bill trick. Believe it or not, Yoshi actually has fire in his mouth this way. You can traverse all around the castle like this until you enter a level or blow the fire out. In the top room of Peach's castle, on the second stair on the left side, you can actually get through the wall by sliding into the corner. Now, most of the time you just die. However, if your screen turns completely black upon collision, you actually bypass the first death plane and go into someplace far more weird. Now, what you've just accomplished is something that's very similar to the Mario skydiving trick with a few major differences. First off, you cannot actually land in the room that you were just in, you can only see it. Second, not only can you not land in that room, you're actually in a different area altogether. Now, Mario can still just die at this point, but if you do this glitch enough, you'll find yourself in a room that doesn't even exist. Now, you can run around in this room and you can see the room that you were just in from the world's creepiest angle, but you can't actually go back in. So what is this room that we found ourselves in? Now, running around, I just thought I was in some box that this game had in its outer bounds. But upon further exploration, I found myself walking into the tiny, huge island room. Now, at this point, I was really confused because I was nowhere near this room just a second ago. So I walk back out and find myself in a perfectly normal upper hallway, so it begs the question, what gives? Well, this is my theory. It seems that the upper hallway and the topmost room make just one big level together. But in order to conserve resources, only one area's textures are active at a time. So this means that as you transition from the hallway into the upper room, the hallway textures disappear, even though the level is still loaded in the background. Still with me? I believe this because you land essentially in a phantom version of the hallway. You can't see anything because you didn't walk through the star door, which triggers the texture transition. So basically, Mario leaves the upper room and forgets to turn the lights off, while simultaneously forgetting to turn the lights on in the room he's in now. This also explains why you can't fall into the room that you just glitched out of. This glitch teleports you to the lateral space of the hallway, thus keeping you outside the confines of the upper room. So the barrier that's keeping you there is this wall, which turns into this wall, extending all the way to the top of the black space, just using the same basic collision detection settings that it uses while behaving normally. All of that to say this. Making video games seems very difficult. What's also weird about this glitch is that the first time I actually succeeded in landing on something, I must have actually landed inside the tiny huge island room, because after running and jumping for a bit, I actually seemed to fly right through a phantom version of the picture of the level. And that was the weirdest thing ever to me. But we got more stuff, so let's move on. Over at Snowman's Land, grab this wooden box by the ice thing and throw it into the ring with the bully. Be careful with this because you can very easily accidentally throw it all the way off the ring and you'll have to start all over. If you're successful, jump through to the other side of the ring opposite of the bully. Wait until he gets all the way around the box and then taunt him over it. Once the bully's on the box, he freaks out completely and just rage quits and then proceeds to commit suicide. This is really funny to me because he goes straight from being overly aggressive to being a sore loser.
This game sucks, like, I hate it. It just sucks.
This glitch gets even crazier if you can get him to walk into the wall. He actually walks down the wall and completely bypasses the water that would kill him normally. He just keeps walking and walking and walking, and eventually he'll try to make his way out of the level completely. Now, I've seen some pretty bad losers, but I'm pretty sure this guy takes the cake.
I'm done. I'm so done right now. Yeah, you like to cheat? You like to cheat? Yeah, it's hard to cheat when you're playing alone.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Go outside the castle and find this tree. Start sprinting and then leap directly at the base of the tree. If done correctly, you should be able to slide down and drop into a random pool of water below. Once this is done, straighten out and start swimming towards the castle. Make sure you're swimming low enough to not accidentally enter the castle's moat. Once you feel like you're far enough into the castle, come up to the surface to regain your health. Congratulations, you are now enjoying the castle in its new liquid form. Start swimming towards this door. Once you're right up next to it, start swimming towards the very bottom of the door. If you're not careful, you'll pop back inbounds and you'll have to start all over. But if you do it correctly, you'll actually walk through the door as if the moat was drained. You are now successfully walking underwater at the castle. Now walk back outside to enjoy your all-new underwater playground. Now the water is a lot more shallow here than it was in our last underwater running glitch, so you need to be careful not to jump around too much. To get more freedom with this trick, run to the natural area with all the sand and rocks and fish. Here, you have a lot more freedom when it comes to jumping around. Plus, you can punch fish. I mean, you can try, it won't do anything, but it's always fun to punch seemingly magical animals. I mean, as long as they're fish. Moving on, you can walk along this hill because it was never meant for Mario to walk on in the first place. So there were never any rules set to it that says Mario slides. And of course, just run to the water in order to return to normal Mario physics. While running underwater, you can also run all the way to the waterfall side of the moat. What's interesting about this side is that the push from the waterfall seems to still work properly. I mean, you do see dust from Mario running, and everything does seem to be still a little bit glitchy. And although it's weird to see water falling underwater, you still do slide down the slope, unlike the other side of the moat. There are pretty fish over here too, and in order to get out of this glitch, you just have to do a quick triple jump, and then boom! Mario is swimming like a good Mario should. If you do this glitch while the moat is drained, you can swim into the space that's under this box, although it won't do you much good. Once you swim all the way there, you are as good as stuck. I was hoping that maybe this would be a fun way to get into the level underneath it, but nope, I just managed to seal Mario in certain doom. This is very much a panic scenario. Hey guys, it's me. It's me, Mario. Yeah, I wouldn't advise doing this. Now go back to the tree and jump at the base again in order to get back into the underground pool. Except this time, don't swim towards the castle, swim towards the cannon that's reserved for the end of the game. Swim on the surface of the underground pool to avoid losing health. Once you touch it, bam! That cannon is all yours and you are free to blast away. You can of course blast onto the castle this way and grab all the goodies that are lying around. This includes a few 1-ups and a flying cap, so you can enjoy all the luxuries of getting 120 stars with little to no effort. Oh, the joys of exploiting a game for your own benefit. You know, this isn't really cheating, this is just our reward for poking around the game's 3D engine. For our last and greatest glitch, we need to head over to Snowman's Land and get blown off the ice walkway. Mario will lose his hat and get blown towards his back corner. Once he gets up, go ahead and grab the box that we used in our first glitch on this level and head back towards the giant snowman. Now walk over towards this triangular piece of snow terrain and this snowman will pop up with your hat on. Hit him with the box and 2 hats will pop out of him. Now at this point, make sure to put both hats on and then head back to the cannon. Once you get that accomplished, you're ready to start the whole thing over again. Now the fastest way to do this part is to aim just above this tree and blast into it. Be careful getting down and then proceed to get blown away just like before. Now get up, grab that box again, and proceed to do the exact same thing we did last time. Walk up to the snowman, hit him with the box, and boom, 4 hats. You can keep doing this over and over again and it'll keep doubling in number. Bam, 8 hats. Now, at this point, the hats start doubling up on themselves, so keep that in mind. Grab all the hats and do the whole thing over again. So, you might be wondering, I've got some hats at this point, how much can this game take? Well, as soon as you throw the box again, the game starts to lag. That's really only the beginning of the lag. Now this time, it takes forever putting on all of these hats, so I'm going to save you the trouble. Now when you do this part again, you'll notice that as soon as the snowman even starts spawning, your game starts lagging like crazy. Now once you get close enough to see him pop up and you hit him with the box, whoa! Massive slowdown. Now I wanted you to see this glorious array of hats, but this box decided I needed to start putting them on. And putting them on I did, and man, this one took a very, very long time. So I of course had to do it again, and man, the lag was real. I finally muscled through all the lag, got to the snowman, aimed through the box, and yep, that's the end of the glitch. And the end of the video, consequently. Thank you so much for watching my adventure through Super Mario 64 DS. It was a ton of fun, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it. I can't wait to get started on my next video, and if you have any game suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Also, if you want to catch any future videos I make sure to subscribe. I love you, you're awesome, and I genuinely hope we meet again next time on Glitch Vault.